Do you find yourself running for the exits whenever you have a tough conversation or a tough pitch or a tough presentation? Well, one of the biggest principles to overcome that may just be just sticking around, just sitting in there. We're going to examine this principle related to a very interesting German word. In the meantime, if you like the video, I would just recommend that you subscribe and activate notifications so that you get notified of more content when I post sales techniques, persuasion techniques, negotiation, or anything else related to persuasion. So what I want to talk about today is the German concept of Sitzfleisch. I don't know if I'm using the right accent, which translates literally to sitting flash, but we can interpret it as sitting put or just sticking in there, right? Just sitting your butt in there and not leaving. And why is this important? Even if you have the best sales skills, the best negotiation skills, if you just leave early, you are going to accomplish nothing. So when your instincts are telling you to go away because you want to be comfortable and there's a lot of tension, you have to override those instincts and just sit your butt in there and just see the situation through. That's the key principle to be more confident and charismatic. And we have a couple of ways to put this principle into practice, as usual. So the first one is that you don't need to be aggressive. And this is a very important distinction. Why? Because you may be thinking, well, if I want to stick in there forcefully and actively, then I need to be aggressive. I need to get up in their face and try and sell more and pitch more. And nothing of the sort. You don't necessarily need to be aggressive, you just need to be persistent. You just need to ask, hey, is there anything that we can do about this objection? What are your specific needs? What is not connecting here? You just need to talk to the person like a human being. That fixes a lot of issues, okay? You don't need to be aggressive. So when I'm telling you that you need to sit in there, I'm not telling you that it's a game of Survivor where you want to break the other person and last longer than them and subjugate them and get them to buy your thing or do whatever it is that it is your request in terms of your value proposition. Although in some cases it is like that, but in most cases, I'm just saying you just want to stay in there and speak with them. Don't quit too early. In many cases, a no is just a tentative no, and in other cases, the person may seem impatient, but if you just speak with them more, they are going to warm up to you and they're going to come up with solutions. You can use techniques like diagnostic questions, implementation questions, qualified speculation, the potential, and a lot more just to open up the person's mind and make them more receptive so that slowly they warm up to you and they come up with options or they're more receptive to your pitch. Then another principle which is important to ask is, do you have a better alternative? What I mean by this is, when you are in a meeting or in a sales meeting or in a presentation or whatever it is, you just want to leave because you want to be comfortable, what do you gain by actually leaving? Yes, you are going to be comfortable, but you're not going to get anything done professionally or personally, depending on your goal. You're not going to get a sale, you're not going to get people that you influence, you are not going to get the results that you want. So you may be comfortable if you do end up leaving, but you accomplish nothing, right? So a lot of people think, hey, I want to eject early and I want to get out of this situation of tension. But what a lot of people don't realize is that it's tougher if you quit. They realize in the moment that it is tough to stay in there with all of the tension, especially if it's a high status person and you're sweating bullets and you really feel that tension in your body. But what most people don't realize is that it's even tougher if you leave, because you quit and you get absolutely nothing. So do you have an alternative? Because the alternative is just quitting. You might as well stay in there. And another principle here is that acceptance does wonders for you. What I mean by this is the following. A lot of people have resistance in terms of this situation. That is, a lot of people don't want to be there because there's tension and they want to quit and they want to go away. And if that is a possibility, then that's going to be in your mind because you may as well be doing something else. But if you accept that you don't have an alternative and that you have to stay in there, then it becomes fun. Because you don't have an alternative, you really have to stay in there. That is, a lot of resistance comes from you just having one foot in the door and one foot outside of it, because you're constantly wondering, should I stay here or do I have the alternative, which is to quit? But if you accept from the get-go that you are not quitting until you get a result or negative feedback, then it becomes fun, because it's never an alternative. You accept fully that you do have to stay in there. And then you try to come up with new persuasion techniques, or you try to use different angles to convince the person, or you even try to mess with their mindset in a playful way. At the end of the day, if you accept that you have to be in there, it's liberating because all of the resistance is gone. As they say in the mindfulness niche, what you resist persists. So if you really are resisting because you would rather be someplace else or because there is an alternative, then that's going to be present and it's going to hamper your efforts. But if you accept from the get-go that you have to stay in there, then it's liberating and you can decide to do whatever you want because it becomes fun. If you like these techniques, I would recommend that you take a look at the Improving Communication Skills playlist, where I focus on a lot of different techniques to improve your body language, your voice, how to sell better, how to pitch better, how to negotiate better, and a lot more.